By the way, like, subscribe. Welcome to House Sparks Mega Worldwide. Ta-da! Right again. This is Judge Jeanine sounds off on Trump indictment. Quote, "I am furious."
Indictment of Donald Trump gets unsealed. The former president getting hit with 37 charges in the classified documents case. Trump's aide also getting in.
By the way, this is Jesse Waters. I don't like what I'm reading, but I have to read it because I have a job at this network that they're making me do face.
Indicted. The feds say there are 2 instances of Trump showing classified material to people, including.
No, they have evidence of 2 in the indictment specifically. They're not saying there's 2. They're saying if there's 2 we have evidence of, there's a very strong possibility he's showing it to other people as well.
Including a military plan of attack against an unnamed country.
Sorry, no. A military plan against an attack, like a defensive plan against us being attacked by a foreign power.
Trump's accused of directing an aide to move documents out of a
into the
storage room before an FBI subpoena. The DOJ also claiming that Trump suggested to his lawyer that they should hide or destroy the documents. The former president will appear in federal court Tuesday in Miami and is proclaiming his in.
Yeah, have you ever seen Jesse Waters read this as stilted as ever? It's like somebody at Fox is punishing him by making him read it.
Innocent.
By the way, 12 boxes. I would just like to remind you, Trump said 12 boxes. There are 12 boxes, he said. They moved 60 out. They brought 30 back. They gave 15 to the FARA folks and the FBI lying the whole time.
And we had tremendous support, but that was a hoax and a scam. And now they're doing it again.
What a weird pickup in the middle.
Again, it's just a continuation, 7 years. I'm an innocent man. I did nothing wrong. And we will fight this out just like we've been fighting for 7 years. It would be wonderful if
by lying and getting your lawyers to quit.
We could devote our full time to making America great again.
Special counsel Jack Smith breaking his silence, but not taking questions on why he decided to indict Trump.
Our nation's commitment to the rule of law sets an example for the world. We have one set of laws in this country, and they apply to everyone. It's very important for me to note that the defendants in this case must be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law.
Joe Biden saying that he doesn't know what the Joe Biden DOJ was doing.
President Biden, have you spoken to Attorney General Merrick Garland yet?
I have not spoken to him at all. I'm not going to speak to him. No comment on what happened.
And the liberal media has been popping the champagne since the news broke.
And what have you been doing? Weeping?
I don't know. It's sad and it's shocking, but it's also kind of it makes me feel a bit relieved.
Line by line.
Yeah, that sounds like somebody popping champagne.
Line by line of this indictment lays out calculation, deliberate misconduct.
You can see the.
Yeah, that sounds like celebration. That's not a news person describing exactly what's in front of them.
Voluminous nature of this, that they have the goods and the receipts. It is bad news. I have never seen anything hit Donald Trump this hard.
That sound that you hear is silence, largely from Republicans in these moments. Maybe they're reading this 50.
Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. It's toasty in here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's too low and it bangs against the green screen. Sorry. Let's go. All right, digging in. Don't make me take off the lesson. It's toasty in here. So, all right, where were we? Oh, yes. These were a bunch of news people reacting normally, and Jesse Waters is saying that this was they were just like breaking into Kool and the Gang songs, which is my job. Celebrate good times. Come on. Let's celebrate that. There's a party going on right here. A new indictment to last throughout the years.
Page document.
Sorry.
The taped conversation, is that a smoking gun?
Do they consider as part of a potential plea offer something that would proscribe him from running for office again?
Judge Jeanine Pirro, you've been reading the indictment. How
Or you had someone who can read it for
would you characterize it?
Well, it's crap and I hate it. And if I was still a judge, which no one would elect me to do anymore. Oh, boy. This is by the way, just so you know, I'm going to make a slight prediction here. She's read it. It's reasonable. This is what angers her. She's going to sell the idea that it's crap and how dare they and this is terrible for America and blah, blah, blah. But she, having read this shit before, goes, yeah, this has got substance. This is the real fucking deal. I guarantee it.
You know, I am so
stupid
right now.
Mm-hmm. As opposed to, isn't livid her defining characteristic? I mean,
I am furious. I have spent over 3 decades
trying to figure out if white silk goes with powder blue, and it just doesn't.
In a system that I believe in. I'm a believer.
Yes, it's I'm a Believer is one of my favorite Giant songs, by the way. And if it isn't one of yours, it could be.
But today, I am no longer a believer.
Yes, she's given up on the rule of law. Fuck this. We need to follow. We need quick trials.
What you've got is a weaponized Department of Justice, Department of FBI, and CIA.
A Department of FBI? Is there? Well, that's a lot of oversight.
We saw it.
Man, the bureaucracy.
From the time he came down that escalator.
Uh-huh.
They started with the Russia collusion hoax, and we know that Hillary Clinton made it up. She even told a president, the Durham report, she told Biden and she told Obama she was going to do it to get rid of her email scandal. So what did they do? The FBI lied. They went to a FISA court.
What? Hold on. What the living fuck does this have to do with what's in the paper right in front of you? You know, as a judge, she of all people, Your Honor, objection, move to strike, immaterial, and we are dealing with the case in front of us, not the relitigation of disagreements past. Which, by the way, all right, in respect for Your Honor, I'm not going to go into how full of shit the other party is, but fuck off with this nonsense.
Judge, they lied 3 more times. They needed to get this guy.
So are these pictures fake? That's all. That's what matters here. And here's the thing, Judge. This is there's sort of a retroactive bullshit detector, I think, that almost everyone has, which is if I'm looking at this case in particular, and there may be areas where both of us have information gaps in terms of the Mueller report and stuff like that, as far as what they wanted to look at and what they could have included or they didn't, and we can disagree or, you know, or have issues with that kind of stuff because it's just out of both of our circles. So you can spackle those gaps with whatever, you know, like emotional evidence, the idea that they're trying to get him, the idea that, you know, that I think he's guilty and yada yada, and we could fight about that part of it. But the problem is, when you're looking at something like this particular indictment, and the pictures involved, and the people involved, and Walt Nauda's obvious testimony, the other witnesses involved, and we're seeing this shit. These are pictures that Walt Nauda sent to an employee, and then this one in particular, and the other ones he just took to the other employees took to show where the documents were, and the admission that these documents were there, which Trump does. Which is self-evident. Like, most of this is just real fucking obvious. And the fact that she's saying, this is bullshit like that was bullshit, when we both know this isn't bullshit. It's really obvious. What that makes me think is that your argument about the past is equally bullshit, because it shows a character issue with you or a particular kind of a bias.
And then they violated the Fourth Amendment rights of one American and spied on a presidential candidate. And we now know it was all a hoax started by Hillary Clinton.
No, we don't.
But that wasn't enough. Then what we had is the FBI telling social media, you can expect that there's going to be Russian disinformation in the form of...
which there was.
Hunter Biden laptop. And that's when they interfered with the presidential election for the second time.
Why? Why would Trump, after 4 years in office, require a scandal about the son of his opponent, specifically? Why would he require that to get reelected? Why, without that scandal, does that lower Trump's chances of getting reelected? Do you know how fucking bad you have to be as president to hope that your opponent's children are drug addicts or have social, emotional, or business problems so that you can get reelected? That's how good he is. That's the greatness that is Donald Trump, according to Judge Jeanine.
And 51 CIA intelligence agents. So we've got the DOJ, the FBI, the CIA say, oh, this is Russian disinformation, when we know damn well it wasn't Russian disinformation.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. She's never seen the laptop. She never will.
And now what you've got is a loser prosecutor.
A loser prosecutor. He's winning right now.
Jack Smith, who's been slapped down by the United States Supreme Court in one of his prosecutions, that if I were a lawyer, I would give up my law license. I'd be so embarrassed hiding under a rock.
So all of Trump's election attorneys should hide under a rock, is what you're saying. All of them. Agreed.
He's the one who prosecuted John Edwards. He's got a political agenda. And this is all over a Presidential Records Act, which is a civil suit.
No, it's about espionage. These are top secret documents.
Civil issue.
No, these are top secret documents.
And so what they do is they put out this narrative indictment. Oh, this is a story of wrongdoing, national defense. And let's put in espionage. We can kind of tie it into the Russian collusion. So people will say, oh, it could have been the Russians. This is nonsense. And I want to know.
I think most people thought this looks like something he was sharing with like the Saudis and other rich dickheads that he knows.
How many documents were altered? How many documents were destroyed? Zero.
Well, no, that's not the case. He even says, couldn't we get rid of some? And now there are empty folders. He had access to those boxes in between when his attorneys said they were responding. They were going to come back and look for stuff. He had Walt Nauta bring those boxes in. That's in the indictment. And then some of these documents have gone missing.
But who destroyed 33,000 documents that she lied about over and over again? Hillary Clinton.
You can't destroy emails. They exist somewhere. They just aren't on the device that might be accessible by someone outside without clearance.
She destroyed them. That was tampering.
Imagine if Trump had, what was that flood of the server room at Mar-a-Lago?
With evidence. That was obstruction of justice. And did the DOJ, the FBI care? They didn't give a damn. But now they care. What are they so afraid of? Let him run for office. And if he loses, then that's the end of it. I hate a country that is akin to a third world country.
Wow, she hates America. There you go. Judge Jeanine, everybody. Hating America because one dude is fucking around and finding out.
This is a banana republic. When you indict one...
Excuse me. Banana Republic is a fantastic store. And I think they catch a lot of shit from people like Judge Jeanine. Their suits fit me fantastically. I'm just saying. The drape is nice. The shoulders are cut very well. I can buy right off the rack. It's lovely. Obviously, my butt has a better shelf now than even it did a while back. So I've got to obviously watch that cut or whatever because you want the cakes to look good. But overall,
guy running for president, and the guy who's doing it is some old geezer who says, you know what? I don't know anything about it. The day that we
look out. By the way, look at her looking at her. Look at all of them. This is like grandma got into the box wine again.
Finally get under threat of contempt of the head of the FBI. We finally get a 1023 from a credible FBI source. Credible, $200,000 worth of credibility.
$200,000? That guy makes more money every time they tell this story. I've heard six figures. Now it's $200K.
The FBI paid him, saying Joe took $5 million, Hunter took $5 million from Ukraine. And I'm not done yet. I'll tell you something else. This whole thing with Ukraine, why the heck is everybody going to Ukraine? Why do we put billions and billions and billions of dollars into Ukraine? What?
Because they've been attacked by Russia. The question is, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you support them? I mean, we can go back and readdress like Kosovo if you want to do that too.
What the heck is going on over
What is going on there? I don't even watch.
there? Randy Weingarten going to check out education. And Joe Biden goes over there in January of 2018, and he says, if you don't get the prosecutor off that company.
2018? So Trump sent him?
Company where my son makes $80,000 a month, and if you
50.
don't get rid of him, I'm not going to give you the $1 billion that the United States promised you. Well, Joe, that's called pay to play. It's an organized criminal enterprise that we have as a president.
No, pay to play would be if they paid him to do something. They have to do something for us to pay them. This was American tax dollars.
And his family. They should be ashamed, and every American should be ashamed of what happened today.
Well, I am. I mean, this. You mean this show? I mean, I'm not that invested. I don't know why I'd be that upset.
Well said.
No, it wasn't. It was gibberish.
Jessica, I assume you agree with most of that?
She's a liberal. She's the girl you like that.
I was struck by a lot of what the judge just said, mostly the fact that she didn't address the documents that were panning across the screen, that there were documents found in the bathroom, in the shower, in the ballroom, in his bedroom, in his office, that there were documents pertaining to our nuclear programs, pertaining to our weaknesses and our allies' weaknesses, what makes us vulnerable, clearly a national security risk. What has been proven time and time again when it comes to this particular case is that Donald Trump,
I love you, and I want to have your babies. Sorry, please continue.
and all of his supporters have been lying to us about what happened. So first he went with everything was declassified because he's magic and he can look at things and they become declassified. Now he's on tape admitting the fact that he's showing people, Mark Meadows' team when he's trying to do the book, a document that was still classified and that he knows that he doesn't have the power to declassify it anymore because he's no longer president. He said they were properly secured. I don't think a toilet is a skiff. Maybe I'm wrong.
Better than a Corvette.
Yeah. Or
here you go. Misdirection. Misdirection.
That's
Just
not
take.
misdirection.
Yes, it
That's
is.
the whole
because
point.
no, it's not. Because in the B block, we'll talk about Ukraine, and then I can hear about Viktor Shokin all over again. He also said that he complied with everything. We know he flouted.
By the way, Judge, excuse me, nobody dipped into your bullshit, did they?
Subpoenas.
They just let you rant even though you took more than your segment.
And now we know that he asked his lawyers to get rid of things. It seems, and yes, I'm not a lawyer, but I'm decently smart. I know some viewers don't necessarily think that, but I'm telling you, and a few of my teachers would agree, that this seems like a pretty clear case of obstruction. And Jonathan Turley's been on our air all day talking about this and saying that these charges are the darlings of what they're looking for because they are easy to prove, especially when you have pictures of them.
So if Hillary actually does get rid of things.
Here we go. This has nothing to do with Hillary Clinton. No, it doesn't. If you want to argue and you want to talk about, again, the difference between gross negligence and extremely careless, a lot of people have that conversation. But today, you are looking at boxes of classified documents strewn across a public place, also that were transported to another location, even to the point whoever the family member who texts, I won't be able to fit all the boxes on the plane. Whatever shall we do? Come on,
Katie. But as the judge did say, these are presidential personal records, which he has the sole authority to make personal, just as the Bill Clinton.
No, they didn't. The judge, he notice how he says the judge, he means Jeanine. He doesn't mean like the judge in this case or any other.
Lock drawer case proved, and just as an Obama judge ratified, that is the law. It's a civil situation. It's not criminal. So this is all nothing.
Well, and I'll tell you why it does matter, and it's not
Great. Trump's going to go to jail for nothing.
just deflection to talk about Hillary Clinton and to talk about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, the fact that classified documents that were taken by Joe Biden when he was a senator.
No. Classified documents that have to do with his time as a senator, but he very well got out while he was vice president, during a time which, by the way, Obama gave him the right to declassify documents that he had in his possession, if he wanted to. Now, he doesn't make the case that he did, and as soon as they found that those things were mixed in with other documents that he had, he gave them back immediately. And he invited the FBI and to come over and search, and with his lawyers present or without, with no interference. That's the difference. That's why all of this case starts up on May 11th.
Ended up in his garage, where Hunter Biden, who has a lengthy, shady record of engaging with people,
Of smoking in the bathtub while covering his nipples and wearing jean jackets and diapers.
like, I don't know, hookers who are all over his laptop, shady
Chinese
foreign
spies.
figures,
Well, his lap, anyways.
Chinese spies. There's no question about, whether he was
Anna de Rothschild, the member of the CCP, was a member of Mar-a-Lago for 4 years.
possibly allowing them into the house when Joe Biden wasn't around, just sitting.
Possibly, just imagine that. Now, Trump admits to showing these things to people and is recorded showing these things to people, but let's just imagine a scenario wherein Joe Biden, who can't find his pants, knew exactly where to hide the documents so that his son, who is cracked out of his skull and spending most of his time overseas, can sneak into the garage and go, "Here it is, guys. Here's the secret stuff."
In the garage, not to mention he was making these foreign deals with shady figures who did not have the interests of the United States in mind. They have
You mean like Jared was?
an interest of how they can bribe and make sure that their interests, whether it's for the Chinese Communist Party or for Ukraine, to be changed in their favor. The fact
Be changed in their favor. Yeah, Ukrainians were clearly bribing Joe Biden while he was vice president and wasn't president at all afterwards, and had no intention of running insofar as we knew after, especially when Hillary ran. But then after that, he came to that decision far later. But they were going to take advantage of that fact because they knew they were going to be invaded in 2022.
is that Hillary Clinton had a digital box of an unclassified or an unsecure server with classified information
If it's unsecured, why don't you know what's on it?
on it as a Secretary of State after she left that office in her bathroom. So if you want to talk about how this
No, the server was allegedly in the basement office.
is all bad, sure, you should not mishandle classified information.
Great. Okay, so you guys find evidence that she intentionally withheld classified documents so that she could show them to people who were not authorized to see them, and I'll happily have them share a fucking cell. We'll make a goddamn sitcom out of it. But that does not change the fact that Trump willfully did this shit.
But the double standard of justice in this country is becoming a serious problem, not for Donald Trump alone, but for everyday Americans who
Yeah, I know. I'm really worried that they're going to come and look at all the classified shit I have in my basement.
are looking at their federal government and going, it's being weaponized against people who
No, I'm not seeing that at all.
disagree with the left. And we've seen that over and over and over.
We got, at school board parents. The FBI was just coming after parents for being parents. Bomb threat or no bomb threat, the truth is that those are moms and dads.
Over again. And the Department of Justice.
BTK had children. Yes, why is the Wichita police, the FBI, and the DOJ looking to attack BTK for being a father and a deacon in his church and a park ranger?
Just puts out this indictment. It looks bad. They always do at the beginning. And
Yeah, all indictments look bad in the beginning, except for John Durham's, which fizzled out.
then the narrative completely falls apart once there's
a
response days, weeks, months later from Trump.
Yeah, have you guys ever seen an indictment actually play out? Ever? I mean, they sound scary, but I mean, nobody ever gets convicted.
Trump and from the actual evidence that we see. We'll see what happens on Tuesday. We'll see
you will.
what happens with the trial.
Yes, you will.
But when it comes to
How about read what they say, and all I ask, you don't have to invest in it emotionally one direction or the other. But I would like you to look at how it's laid out and then watch the trial and see if it plays out the way they explained it. And if it does, go fuck yourself.
the credibility of DOJ, because they've gone through this list of witch hunts, as the president says, for years, 8 years.
Oh, these terrible things where he was impeached twice.
Here I am like an idiot.
Of this over and over again with different situations, they have no
Different situations that he brought on himself.
credibility left. So even if these things are true in the indictment,
Even if these things are true, I don't care. Fuck America.
nobody's going to believe it. And that's
No, but I see. Because the DOJ and the FBI under Trump, while he was in office, and the Congress, they cried wolf. So any crimes he commits afterwards, he gets a fucking mulligan on that.
a problem for American democracy, as the left would
It was
say.
a great grand jury verdict, though. This is the same thing. You're acting
But
as
there's
if
no-
it was
Take away the
just, and the
credibility
jury
problem.
wasn't
It's
full
not
of Andy McCabe, Peter Strzok, and George Soros.
It's just an
They were a
indictment.
jury of his peers.
It's just an indictment. It doesn't mean
It
anything.
doesn't
It hasn't
change
even
the
gone
It doesn't mean, guys, it's just an indictment. It doesn't mean anything.
to the trial.
Wait a minute. The grand jury's a jury of his peers?
The people who were selected
Yeah,
for
well,
it.
you have a jury of your
Trump has no peers, okay? He's the Ubermensch that Nietzsche talked to us about, okay? Have you not seen? He's got BDE. It just is S. It's most of the time it's S.
peers when they get to hear both sides.
Let's go,
Go,
Greg.
Greg.
Oh God. So all right. So there's sort of a serious conversation happening. Judge is upset. She's trying to patch up the damage that she did. Waters is in charge of running this particular A block. They rotate who gets to say the shit or whatever. And he's unfortunately, like I said, he had to read the teleprompter as written, and he's not having it. And so Greg's sitting over here with a bunch of notes in front of him going, I've got to come up with some sort of like snide Hillary thing, but it's boring at this point.
Mr. Gutfeld.
Yes, thank you. That
You're
is my
welcome.
name. This isn't, I think most people understand this isn't about breaking laws. It's about breaking Trump.
I wrote that on my paper. It's not about breaking laws. It's about breaking Trump. We said that in the pre-show, and I wrote that down. I didn't say it. Somebody else said it. I read it on the internet. Anyways.
Even the charges are theatric.
Even the charges are theatric. Because, no, I mean, what is top secret anyways? It's like a phrase you hear in a movie.
I mean, dozens of mini indictments, you know, basically like they just chopped up a candy bar into little bite-sized snacks.
It's a great analogy. You skipped school a lot, didn't you?
It's meant to exhaust and overwhelm, not just Trump, but
especially people who, just saying, Greg, you look exhausted. I think you picked that word for a reason.
supporters, right? It's meant to psychologically flood the zone up to the election to keep Trump's persuasive abilities at bay, to keep Trump's supporters occupied, to scare away donors, right?
Yep.
Nobody's going to want
to donate to a guy who is giving away classified documents that he's admitted to on tape, you know.
Give money if they think that he's going to go to jail. We know that this whole
Yeah, they're not going, I'm not going to donate because he's going to, it's the why he might go to jail part that stops a lot of the donors.
classified document stuff is a murky place. It's like everybody knows that. So
Yeah, so why are we even giving Hillary shit? What the fuck? Who cares? Then what the fuck does the Corvette mean? What is it? What has? Who cares about the Penn Center then, or Biden's garage then? At that point, why isn't that your argument the whole fucking time? When any of this stuff, like people overclassify stuff, I'm not interested. Move on.
this is like the choice to do this is definitely and only definitely a political one.
Definitely and only definitely a political one.
The problem, though, is with this exhaustion strategy, you think it wears people down, but when you look at Trump supporters and Trump, it winds them up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at Judge Jeanine and Mark Levin. You can tell he's got the youth vote now.
I don't think the Democrats or the media ever understood that concept or the bigger concept, which is always their problem, the concept of going too far.
Going too far. Explain to me how not letting someone get away with sharing classified documents, especially ones about America and our allies' nuclear systems, with strangers, just randos that you're trying to impress, is going too far.
You know, they don't understand limits, right? So you have no limits.
We don't understand limits. You mean like, here's one I understand. You don't, in general, grab a woman by the pussy just because you feel like it, without her consent. Like that kind of limit. You talking obviously.
Criminal justice reform. Where is that going? You have no limits on the woke gender nonsense, right? So when you come out against the surgical mutilation of children, they accuse you of being
That's the fallback they're going to be using on us. Yeah, no.
being transphobic because they don't understand the limit. They don't understand if you say you want a border, you're xenophobic because they don't.
No, you're not xenophobic for wanting a border or a functioning border. You're xenophobic for saying they're rapists, they're murderers, and some of them are good people, but it's an invasion, and they're going to change our country, and they're trying to wipe out. There's going to be no more white people, and this is what Democrats want. That's the xenophobic part.
Understand the limit. The persecution of Trump and not the prosecution is based on the fact that they have no limit. They don't understand. Because they classified him as worse than Hitler.
No. Hitler was way more effective in his awful. I've said this many times. One of the reasons why Trump is no Hitler is because he's not capable enough. His charisma has its limits that partly are due to the time we live in as well. But he doesn't have those kind of skills to be that kind of evil.
You can do any.
Imagine one of the best things about you being that you're too dumb to be as evil as other people.
Anything. So you have leaks, piled up charges.
You can't leak a lie. Leaks are true.
An overwhelming antipathy toward Trump that is creating this relentless witch hunt. And you think that trotting out this stuff is going to alienate him? No. It just feeds their energy. When you are taking.
Yes, these are the Obi-Wan charges.
When you're taking their candidate off the stage, do you think they're...
Well, in all fairness, we're taking we're taking the boxes off the stage. I'm just saying wait, where'd it go? There were these boxes. We're not taking him off the stage. Apparently, it's we have to make room for the classified documents. You might not want to mention anytime soon bathroom, basement, storage room, bedroom, shower, shitter, or pine hall, or any of these things, because they're going to directly reference back to these. Dum-dum.
You're just going to walk away from that? You're taking their choice of president? 75 million people know what you're doing. It's not about Trump. It's about his voters. When you investigate Joe Biden, nobody cares about his voters. Nobody does. We know why they voted for Joe. They didn't like Trump. But you go after Trump, something different happens. You go.
Yes, it's a cult.
Go after the people that support him.
No, you don't. You just go after Trump. It's that his followers, the dough-headed ones anyways, will follow him no matter how criminal he is because of the character flaw.
And when you arrest your rival, you think that people think the election in 2020 was corrupt? You think they're going to buy the results of this? They are worsening a divide.
Or they're going to vote for DeSantis because DeSantis will say, Trump even couldn't pardon himself for these crimes, but I could pardon him. Why don't you just let me in there and I'll be basically MAGA? And by the way, that's the game. That's what DeSantis is working on tonight.
Right? They're pouring salt on a wound because they don't care about the people. They only care about the politics. And that's all I got to say.
Well said.
Oh, look, everybody watched the Mark Levin thing. I'm done.
Everybody.
Hey, Sean Hannity.
He thought it was funny because, hey, it's Sean Hannity, who's a thumb.